Hello, this is Jeremy from 3D Infotech, and I will discuss with you some differences when working with point cloud data and polygonal model data. This project is focusing on a headlight, and I already have 3 example data imported into my project. 2 of them are point clouds with and without IJK vectors. And my third one is a polygonal model. And one of the likely differences you'll see immediately is just how they're displayed in the 3D scene. So if I zoom into a detail view of my polygonal model, I can still see the detail of my part. But when I display a point cloud, I no longer see the surfaces, I only see the raw XYZ points. This becomes very helpful when displaying color maps. With raw XYZ points, I still get the colors, but it's just easier to see when I'm displaying a polygonal model instead. One of the other differences between a polygonal model and a point cloud is that a polygonal model always has IJK vectors. Point clouds may or may not have IJK vectors. And let's see the difference. I have this plane here. And again, my polygonal model always has IJK vectors. So if I look at the data that my plane is currently seeing, you'll see all the data points that are correctly associated with my plane. I have another plane that's tied to my point cloud without IJK. So if I select the data points that are associated with this plane, notice how PolyWorks is also selecting data points that are tied to that hole. So there are benefits with working with IJK, and in this case is to filter out points that do not associate with my feature. One last example where it may be beneficial to use polygonal models are for other tools like cross-sections. I have a cross-section right here in my part, and since I'm working with surface data, the cross-section is slicing precisely where my cross-section plane pierces the triangles. But if I'm working with a point cloud, again, there are no surfaces to slice through, so the cross-section needs to look at data points on both sides of that plane, and you'll see that there are some gaps. There are gaps in here. To make this look as clean as the polygonal model, I'll need to go to the properties of that cross-section and play around with some of these point cloud settings. So that's one of the conveniences of working with a polygonal model, is many of the default settings just look better. So there you have it. Those are just some examples of working with polygonal models versus point cloud data. Thank you for watching.